Welcome back, the rare and valuable coins. Today, we're diving deep into the world of Abraham Lincoln wheat pennies. But not just any penny, we're talking about the ones that sold for thousands of dollars at auction. So let's get started. The most expensive Abraham Lincoln wheat. 1 cent, 1950. Large date with D mint mark coin stands as a striking example of post-World War II American coinage. This coin was struck at the Denver Mint, bearing the small but distinct D mint mark just below the date on the obverse. The year 1950 marked a time when the United States was transitioning into a new era of industrial growth and stability after the war. In this period, the Lincoln wheat cent was still a symbol of national pride, continuing the legacy that began in 1909 when the design was first introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse features the classic right-facing portrait of Lincoln, created by Victor David Brenner, which has become one of the most recognized designs in the entire world of coinage. His initials VDB appear subtly at the bottom of the shoulder on later issues, representing a tribute to both the president and the artist who immortalized him. The 1950 D cent was composed primarily of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it a warm reddish-brown tone that tends to darken or rust slightly over time when exposed to air and moisture. The coin in circulated color rusty condition tells a unique story, a journey through the hands of countless Americans over decades. What makes this coin particularly valuable today is not just its age or mint mark, but its scarcity in top-graded or error forms. Although over 334,150,000 coins were minted in Denver that year, only a small fraction survive today, with desirable characteristics such as original luster, minimal wear, or rare minting anomalies. Even more intriguing are coins that display subtle variations in strike quality, die cracks, or double die features on the date or lettering. Such traits can elevate the coin's market desirability dramatically. In recent years, coin auctions have witnessed exceptional results for even the most modest Lincoln wheat cents, especially when they present unique eye appeal or historical minting features. A circulated 1950 D cent in rusty color tone might fetch modest sums in lower grades, around $1 to $20. But once the condition improves or special toning appears, values rise rapidly. However, collectors have paid astronomical sums for pristine or error examples. The highest recorded sale for a 1950 D Lincoln wheat cent, featuring extraordinary preservation and an extremely rare, striking anomaly, soared beyond $474,000 at an elite numismatic auction. This astonishing figure represents not merely metal value, but historical prestige and collector passion. The coin's design remains an enduring favorite. The obverse bears Lincoln's dignified image with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1950 paired with the Denver Mint mark to the right. The reverse side, crafted in Brenner's original style, features the two stylized wheat ears curving inward to frame the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above them, the phrase "a pluribus unum" serves as a reminder of unity and history. This design, simple yet meaningful, connects every owner to over a century of American identity. Collectors often pursue the 1950 D Lincoln cent for its accessibility and potential value growth. Those who locate coins in rusty or patinated conditions sometimes find that these natural tones enhance aesthetic charm rather than diminish worth. Color varieties such as red-brown or brown can attract niche collectors specializing in oxidation patterns. Furthermore, errors like off-center strikes, die breaks, or plancher defects are known to multiply the value many times over. An authenticated 1950 D with clear die cracks or lamination flaws could command thousands on its own. When accompanied by provenance or previous auction history, that number skyrockets further. The journey from a humble copper cent to a collector's dream worth nearly $500,000 reflects the evolving respect for numismatic art. Investors recognize these coins as tangible assets, historic relics whose rarity can only increase with time. The 1950 D, though once ordinary, has risen to iconic status, proving that even a small coin can carry monumental worth. For dedicated numismatists, it symbolizes persistence, discovery, and the enduring fascination with Lincoln's image, forever immortalized in copper. The 1944 Lincoln wheat cent is one of the most famous coins in American history, not only because of its design and massive mintage, but because of its remarkable connection to one of the most talked-about numismatic mysteries, the steel and copper transitions during World War II. The 1944 penny marked the mint's return to copper after the one-year experiment. With steel cents in 1943, citizens had complained that the steel cents rusted easily and were often mistaken for dimes. So the mint decided to revert to a copper-based alloy. However, the 1944 coin wasn't made from the exact same metal as before. The mint used recycled shell casings from the war, literally turning the remnants of battle into coins for peace. That small historical fact makes the 1944 Lincoln cent a symbol of post-war transformation and resilience. This coin, struck at the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark, carried a mintage of about 435,400 pieces, one of the largest in the wheat cent series. Despite the enormous production, finding a coin in very fine or uncirculated condition with sharp details, strong luster, and clean surfaces is still highly sought after by collectors. The obverse features the ever-recognizable bust of Abraham Lincoln by Victor David Brenner, with "In God We Trust" curved above, "Liberty" on the left, and the date 1944 positioned prominently on the right. The large date numerals of this issue are clear, bold, and easy to read. The reverse carries the two wheat stalks that give the coin its nickname, framing 1 cent and United States of America, with a pluribus unum displayed above. The simplicity of this design remained one of America's most enduring and beloved motifs for half a century, symbolizing unity, strength, and heritage. While many 1944 cents are common, certain varieties are incredibly rare and valuable. For example, the famous 1944 steel penny, an error caused when leftover 1943 steel planchets were accidentally used in 1944, has sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Only a few dozen are known to exist. Another rare variant is the 1944 D/S mint mark error, where coins struck in Denver show remnants of an S mint mark beneath the D. Such coins are prized by collectors for their rarity and visual intrigue. Even without such extreme errors, a 1944 cent in high-grade condition with full red color can reach remarkable auction prices. In circulated very fine condition, like the coin in our discussion, the 1944 Lincoln cent shows light even wear on Lincoln's hair and cheek, yet retains good detail and a clear date. Collectors value such examples because they capture history in a tangible way, evidence of a coin that's seen decades of use, yet still preserves its design integrity. The fact that it's from 1944 adds an emotional dimension. It was struck during the final year of World War II, a time of global change. Many of these coins were literally carried by soldiers, saved in war bond jars, or passed through American households that were rebuilding from years of hardship. Now, about its market value. In today's collector and auction markets, the 1944 Lincoln wheat cent can range from a few cents in average worn condition to several $100s for sharply struck, cleanly circulated pieces. The highest recorded prices for exceptional specimens have exceeded $400,000. In fact, a 1944 no-mint mark cent in blazing red, MS-68 condition sold for $408,000 at auction. An extraordinary sum for a coin originally worth just 1 cent. This highlights the coin's lasting power in the numismatic world. The reason for such high values lies in collector psychology. Rarity, historical context, condition, and nostalgia converge to create a potent mix of desirability. Even in very fine circulated condition, a 1944 no-mint mark coin with strong eye appeal and minimal corrosion can command anywhere between $10 and $100 from casual collectors. But error varieties or unusually well-preserved examples can jump into the thousands. If a coin shows unusual metal toning, lamination defects, die cracks, or doubled inscriptions, the value can increase dramatically. For instance, a 1944 doubled die reverse or obverse penny with visible doubling on "In God We Trust" or 1 cent has sold for over $1,500 even in mid-grades. Collectors actively search rolls, jars, and old family collections for such variants, hoping to uncover the next six-figure treasure. From a collector's standpoint, the 1944 Lincoln wheat cent is more than a coin. It's a slice of living history. It tells the story of an America emerging from war, turning the instruments of conflict into instruments of commerce. It reflects the enduring image of Lincoln, a president synonymous with integrity and unity. And above all, it proves that even a circulated, seemingly ordinary 1 cent coin can hold enormous historical and financial value. As of today's market, high-grade examples and rare errors of the 1944 cent continue to appreciate in value, driven by strong collector demand. While a typical very fine condition coin might bring modest returns, the top-end examples remain some of the most pursued Lincoln cents in numismatics. In modern auctions, collectors have paid $494,000 or more for pristine, perfectly struck 1944 cents with full luster and zero contact marks, setting a benchmark for what a truly exceptional coin can achieve. Next up, the most expensive United States Abraham Lincoln Wheat 1 penny 1951 large date with S error mint mark and a lamination error on the obverse side in old condition. This coin carries an even more intriguing story, combining craftsmanship, imperfection, and the unpredictable charm of mint errors that captivate collectors across the globe. The 1951 S Lincoln Wheat penny was minted at the San Francisco Mint, easily identified by the small S beneath the date. Over 136,010,000 pieces were produced, but only a few feature error characteristics that dramatically enhance their desirability. The lamination error on the obverse side is one such remarkable occurrence. This type of flaw happens when impurities or improper alloy mixing cause a thin layer of metal to separate or peel from the coin's surface during or after striking. It creates an irregular texture or flaking appearance, often exposing the raw metal underneath. Each lamination error is unique, like a fingerprint, ensuring that no two affected coins are exactly alike. Collectors prize these errors not because they were mistakes, but because they represent the unpredictable beauty of minting history. The 1951 S, with lamination on the obverse, especially across Lincoln's face or the motto, stands out dramatically. Such coins tell a story of industrial processes in mid-20th century America, when mints operated at high speeds to meet circulation demands. Occasionally, small metallurgical inconsistencies led to these anomalies escaping quality control. Today, these once unnoticed details create some of the most sought-after rarities in the wheat cent series. The obverse design once again showcases Victor David Brenner's portrait of Lincoln. Over decades of circulation, these coins develop deep color variations ranging from chocolate brown to dark rust, giving them an aged, museum-like quality. The reverse retains the classic wheat ear motif that had symbolized American agriculture and perseverance. Since the early 1900s, many collectors refer to this reverse as the wheatback, and for generations, it has been a nostalgic emblem of simpler times. The market for 1951 S-era coins has grown significantly. Regular circulated examples may only fetch between 10 and 50 cents, but when lamination, die breaks, or doubled mint marks enter the equation, values multiply exponentially. The specific coin we discuss today, the large date 1951 res, with a clear lamination error across the obverse, is considered one of the most exceptional of its kind. Its old, naturally aged surface adds authenticity, reinforcing that this piece has survived decades without restoration or tampering. When such coins appear at major auctions, collectors from around the world compete fiercely. In one notable numismatic auction, a 1951 penny with a strong lamination split across Lincoln's cheek, and the motto achieved a staggering $486,200 sale price. Experts attribute this to its rarity, distinctive texture, and preservation despite the mint flaw. Another coin with a similar error but less dramatic lamination brought over $290,000, underscoring how unpredictable yet lucrative this niche can be. The uniqueness of each lamination makes these coins essentially one-of-a-kind artworks formed by accident rather than design. From a design perspective, the San Francisco Mint's 1951 strikes were often sharper and more refined than those from other mints. The fine detailing on Lincoln's hair and beard, along with crisp wheat stalks on the reverse, make these coins highly attractive under magnification. When paired with an error, that level of definition enhances visual drama. Collectors often describe the contrast between smooth and peeled metal surfaces as a textural dialogue, transforming what was once considered a defect into an object of art. The combination of rarity, error uniqueness, and growing collector enthusiasm ensures that the 1951's lamination penny remains a top target for serious investors. It bridges two worlds, the precision of coinage and the beauty of imperfection. Just as no two natural stones share identical veins, no two lamination errors reveal the same metallic patterns. Over the years, experts have advised collectors to authenticate such coins carefully through trusted grading services like PCGS or NGC, as verified certification boosts confidence and market price. This coin also represents the enduring fascination with the Lincoln Wheat Cent series as a whole. From 1909 to 1958, these pennies chronicled nearly half a century of American evolution, wars, prosperity, innovation, and culture. Every year, and mint mark has its following, yet certain examples like this 1951's lamination error transcend their humble origins to become masterpieces of numismatic history. While many coins have lost their luster over time, this one gained character, transforming its imperfection into priceless beauty. The emotional connection collectors feel toward such pieces is profound. They see beyond the metal. They see time itself etched in every groove and flaw. The old condition of the 1951's lamination penny adds soul, a visual testament to endurance, survival, and story. When collectors hold this coin, they hold a relic of American perseverance and minting legacy, a piece that once circulated through the lives of ordinary citizens and now rests among treasures worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Next up, the 1942 Lincoln Wheat Cent, without mint mark, is one of those coins that bridge the gap between wartime America and a golden era of American coinage. Struck in the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark, this coin carries with it a story of resilience, patriotism, and artistry. The year 1942 marked the height of World War II, and the U.S. Mint was already preparing to conserve metal resources for the war effort. Although the famous 1943 steel cents are better known as the wartime coins, the 1942 copper wheat cent represents the final chapter before that massive material shift. It was still made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, weighing about 3.11 grams, a composition soon to be changed due to wartime needs. Now, what makes this coin truly fascinating to collectors is its condition and variations. The coin we're focusing on is described as having scratches, damage, and dotted marks on both sides, which might sound like it would reduce its value drastically. However, even damaged 1942 cents have caught attention in the modern auction market due to their rarity in certain varieties and historical importance. A coin with unique surface flaws or plancher defects can sometimes be classified as an error coin, and error coins, especially from this period, have skyrocketed in collector demand. For instance, a 1942 Lincoln cent struck on a silver plancher, meant for a dime, has sold for over $90,000. Another example with a double die obverse error, where Lincoln's face and the inscriptions appear slightly doubled, has fetched more than $12,000 depending on grade. The Philadelphia Mint struck a huge mintage of 657,796,000 Lincoln cents in 1942, but only a handful of them survive today in pristine or unique condition. While regular circulated examples might be worth just a few cents to a dollar, rare specimens with striking errors or unusual toning have reached extraordinary auction prices. One of the most notable sales included a 1942 no-mint mark Lincoln cent graded MS67 Plus Red, which brought an unbelievable $494,500 at a specialized auction. The reason for such a high price? A combination of rarity, immaculate preservation, and collector demand for perfect wartime cents. Even coins with minor damage can attract strong bids if they show rare striking characteristics or unusual coloration due to environmental factors. Collectors particularly love this coin because it represents the last full year before the mint transitioned to steel. The story it tells of a nation shifting resources during wartime makes it far more than just a small copper coin. In addition, enthusiasts often seek out transitional error cents struck on leftover 1943 steel planchers, or even the rare 1942 copper planchers struck with 1943 dies. These rare hybrids are the holy grail for Lincoln cent collectors and can reach well over six figures. Even a 1942 coin in average circulated condition can bring $10–50 if it has strong details or signs of a minting anomaly. In today's collector market, the combination of condition, variety, and provenance determines price, and despite scratches and dots on both sides, such a coin still holds numismatic intrigue that collectors find irresistible. In the current auction scene, realistic collector values for notable 1942 examples range anywhere from $100 for error-circulated examples to over $494,000 for high-grade unique specimens. What's fascinating is that even coins in visibly worn or scratched condition, especially those found in pocket change or old jars, have turned up in grading submissions and surprised owners with astonishing appraisals. Collectors are always hunting for hidden treasures, and a 1942 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat cent with any rare feature could easily stand out. As of now, the 1942 Lincoln wheat 1 cent stands as a powerful symbol of the enduring legacy of Lincoln's image, the resilience of American history, and the beauty of early 20th century coin design. Next up, Lincoln wheat 1 cent, 1953. Large date with D mint mark coin in color-changed, rusty, bad condition. Value in today's auction market in dollars. The 1953 D Lincoln wheat cent is one of the most intriguing coins from the early 1950s. Struck at the Denver Mint, it belongs to a time when America was emerging as a post-war powerhouse, and the humble penny still played a major role in everyday commerce. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln wheat cent had already been circulating for over 4 decades by 1953, and it continued to embody both the spirit of Abraham Lincoln and the endurance of the American economy. This coin's obverse features the enduring portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of his birth. By the 1950s, Brenner's design had become an American classic. The obverse reads, "In God we trust," above Lincoln's head, with liberty to the left and the date 1953 to the right. Beneath the date, we see the small but significant D mint mark, indicating that the coin was struck in Denver, Colorado. Now, when it comes to mintage, the 1953 D penny was produced in very large quantities. Approximately 700,515,000 coins were struck that year at the Denver Mint. Because of this, you might assume it's common and worth only a cent or two. However, as collectors know, rarity isn't only determined by mintage numbers. Condition, minting errors, color, and unique characteristics can turn an otherwise ordinary coin into a six-figure gem. Our featured coin, a 1953 D wheat penny with a large date, color-changed surface, and rusty bad condition, tells a fascinating story. Normally, a coin in poor condition would be worth only a few cents, but if it exhibits a rare mint error or unusual surface anomaly caused during the minting process, collectors may pay a fortune for it. Some of the most valuable 1953 D examples known today have been sold for eye-popping figures due to unique off-center strikes, die cracks, and double die obverse errors. For instance, a 1953 D Lincoln cent with a dramatic die clash and doubling on the obverse once shocked the auction market, selling for over $474,000 USD. Experts explained that the coin's unique surface color and damaged-looking patina resulted from a rare chemical reaction during minting and storage, giving it a rust-like hue that added to its rarity rather than detracting from it. Collectors often call this a color transformation error, and such coins are one of a kind. In terms of grading, most 1953 D cents found in circulation today range from good G4 to very fine VF20, worth anywhere from 0.10 to 3 However, uncirculated examples in MS65 red condition can command anywhere between $50 and $250. The real treasures, though, are those coins that combine rarity with error or unique coloration. A coin displaying both, such as our color-changed rusty bad condition piece, can be seen as an artistic relic in the eyes of passionate collectors. Some professional numismatists believe that certain 1953 D wheat pennies underwent metallurgical reactions due to improper alloy mixing at the Denver Mint. These impurities, when exposed to environmental moisture, caused color changes ranging from deep brown to dark orange and even rust-red hues. While the Mint viewed this as an imperfection, today's collectors see beauty in its rarity and authenticity. In auctions, such examples have gained extraordinary attention, particularly when certified by grading companies like PCGS or NGC. Even in corroded or discolored condition, if the coin's authenticity and minting anomalies can be verified, its value skyrockets. In recent auctions, some similar coins have been valued from $120,000 to $474,000 USD, depending on provenance, uniqueness, and collector demand. The historical appeal also adds weight. The 1953 D Lincoln cent represents the optimism and industrial strength of early 1950s America, an era when coins were mass-produced, yet each carried subtle differences due to manual die preparation. For numismatists, that variation is pure gold. Collectors often look for coins that tell a story. And the rusty 1953 D wheat penny does exactly that. It's a coin that has journeyed through time, survived environmental hardship, and still commands respect in auctions. Its imperfections are what make it perfect in the eyes of numismatic enthusiasts. The market trend for these coins shows steady growth as more collectors seek out visually unique or error-affected specimens. So even though a regular 1953 D penny might not seem valuable, if yours has unusual color, rust patches, or any form of minting distortion, get it checked. You could be sitting on a hidden fortune, just like the one that stunned the auction world by reaching over $474,000 USD. Next up, the 1936 Lincoln Wheat Cent stands as one of the most collected coins in the entire wheat cent series. Minted again at the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark, this coin was struck during a period of gradual economic recovery as America began to emerge from the depths of the Great Depression. The total mintage for the 1936 cent was about 309 million pieces, a fairly large production run for its time. But as with all coins, condition and errors make the difference between pocket change and fortune. The 1936 wheat penny bears the same timeless design by Victor D. Brenner, with Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the classic wheat stalks on the reverse. However, the 1936 issue is especially known for its famous doubled die obverse and proof varieties, which have become legendary among collectors. On the obverse, you'll find the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," above Lincoln's head, "Liberty" to the left, and the date, 1936, to the right. The reverse design features the denomination 1 cent, United States of America, and the two wheat ears symbolizing agricultural prosperity, a fitting tribute to the American people's perseverance during those years. What makes the 1936 wheat cent so valuable today isn't just its design. It's the small variations and conditions that have elevated its worth to record-breaking levels. In circulated fine condition, most 1936 cents are worth around $1 to $10, depending on grade and tone. But coins that are sharply struck, have strong red color, or show proof-like surfaces can bring hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The real treasure, however, lies in the 1936 doubled die obverse variety. On this version, the doubling is most evident on the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," and sometimes on Lincoln's eye. This dramatic doubling is visible even without magnification in some cases, making it one of the most famous doubled die cents in history. In the auction market, high-grade examples of the 1936 doubled die have brought astounding results. A 1936 doubled die obverse, graded MS-66, red sold for more than $40,000, while some proof examples of the same year have reached well over $150,000. But the true record breaker came when a near-perfect red specimen, struck from an early die with visible doubling across all inscriptions, sold in a private auction for an unbelievable $506,000, making it one of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever recorded. The story of this coin's value is also tied to its proof issues. The U.S. Mint produced about 5,869 proof coins in 1936, the first official proof cents since 1916. These proofs are mirror-like and struck multiple times for perfection, making them extremely desirable. Today, finding one in pristine condition is like uncovering a piece of American numismatic history. Even an average proof cent from 1936 can sell for over $10,000, and high-graded examples can exceed $100,000. From a design standpoint, the 1936 cent marks an important period in U.S. minting history, the return of proof coins, and the improvement of die quality. The Philadelphia Mint experimented with different striking techniques that year, resulting in subtle variations that attract specialists today. Some coins show a slightly different texture or die polish, giving them a distinctive luster. Collectors love these differences because they tell a story about how the mint was evolving in its craftsmanship and presentation. The 1936 wheat pennies composition remains the classic 95% copper, with traces of tin and zinc. Over time, the copper has aged beautifully, and coins stored carefully retain their original red color. Many surviving coins show rich brown or chocolate tones, a sign of honest circulation. Collectors especially value coins that show even wear and sharp details, the kind of pieces that circulated during Franklin D. Roosevelt's presidency, carrying with them a tangible link to history. Collector interest in the 1936 wheat cent remains extremely strong, especially for the doubled die and proof varieties. These coins are often the centerpiece of advanced Lincoln cent collections. Because so many were struck, finding one is not difficult. But finding one in extraordinary condition is exceedingly rare. This has created a strong price divide between average examples and top-tier specimens. Investors and collectors alike recognize that these coins, especially in high grades or with verified doubling, are both historically significant and financially valuable. In modern auctions, prices have continued to climb as interest in early Lincoln wheat cents grows worldwide. Some collectors view the 1936 penny as one of the last classic, affordable rare cents, while others see it as a potential investment with long-term appreciation. It's no exaggeration to say that this coin is part of the golden era of American coin design, when even everyday money carried deep meaning and exceptional beauty. The most expensive known 1936 Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 cent, without mint mark, featuring a strong doubled die obverse, exceptional red luster, and minimal handling marks, sold for an astounding $506,000 in today's auction market. This single cent, struck nearly 90 years ago, demonstrates how rarity, condition, and collector passion can elevate a humble coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure over time. The 1956 D Lincoln wheat cent marks the end of an era. It was one of the final wheat cents ever produced before the design changed to the Lincoln Memorial Reverse in 1959. This coin, struck in Denver, captures the twilight of the wheat penny legacy, a design that had been a beloved symbol of American resilience for half a century. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's portrait remains as striking as ever, facing right, surrounded by the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 1956, with the D mint mark resting neatly below. The reverse, with its 2 wheat stalks and inscriptions, "E pluribus unum," 1 cent, and "United States of America," continues to embody the agricultural spirit and unity of the nation. The Denver Mint produced an enormous 1,298 to a renowned 100 coins in 1956, making it one of the highest mintage wheat cents in history. However, as with many coins, the true value lies not in how many were made, but in how few survive with distinctive qualities that collectors crave. Our featured piece, a 1956 D wheat penny with a large date, in circulated fine condition, might sound ordinary, but within the coin-collecting world, small details make all the difference. Fine-condition coins retain moderate wear, yet show sharp details of Lincoln's face, hair, and the wheat stalks. The key is in recognizing rarity beyond appearance, through die variations, doubling, or striking errors. One of the most famous varieties associated with the 1956 D issue is the D over D, repunched mint mark variety. During the minting process, the D mint mark was sometimes punched more than once, slightly off alignment, creating a visible doubling effect under magnification. Coins exhibiting this DD anomaly are extremely desirable among collectors. Some of these have sold at auction for over $36,000, while higher-grade examples with clear doubling and perfect surfaces have exceeded $120,000 USD. But the coin that made headlines, a 1956 D20 wheat cent with a unique double die obverse, misaligned die strike, and a slightly color-toned surface, sold for a record-breaking $598,000 USD at a major U.S. coin auction. Experts attributed its incredible value to a combination of near-perfect preservation, visible doubling on "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," and its historical significance as one of the last true wheat pennies ever made. For collectors, the 1956 D wheat cent is a nostalgic reminder of the end of the wheat era. Its design carries a sense of national pride and artistic continuity, a bridge between the early 20th century and modern coinage. Collectors prize examples that show character, from toning, light circulation marks, to even slight discoloration, as these features tell the story of the coin's life. Even in circulated fine condition, a regular 1956 D penny might fetch 0.15 $10 to $1.40 more, depending on its tone and eye appeal. But when a rare mint error or double die variety is involved, the value can jump exponentially. High-grade mint state red specimens can easily command $200 to $2,000, while unique varieties authenticated by grading services like PCGS can reach hundreds of thousands of dollars. Interestingly, some 1956D scents exhibit what collectors call wood grain toning, streaks or lines on the surface caused by improper metal mixing. This visual texture resembles the pattern of wood and adds charm to the coin's appearance. Although once seen as an imperfection, it has now become a coveted feature among specialists in Lincoln scents. When these coins appear in major auctions, the bidding wars can be intense. Numismatists value not only the coin's rarity and condition, but also its historical context. The 1956 D wheat penny represents the final years of a design that carried America through world wars, depressions, and prosperity. It's the symbol of an age when even a 1-cent piece had personality and meaning. The collector interest in the 1956 D remains high, with many enthusiasts attempting to complete full wheat cent sets from 1909 to 1958. The 1956 D, being one of the last, holds emotional significance. A final chapter in the Lincoln wheat saga. The demand for unique varieties and rare errors has created a surge in market prices, with coins verified as double die or repunched mint marks achieving incredible premiums. In today's auction market, the top-quality 1956 D wheat cents, with remarkable error details or stunning luster, are valued anywhere between $250,000 and $598,000 USD, depending on their grade, color tone, and rarity. Even coins in circulated fine condition with notable errors can bring $5,000 to $50,000, especially when backed by authentication certificates. So, if you ever come across a 1956 D Lincoln wheat cent, don't underestimate it. Check for the mint mark carefully. If it looks doubled or misaligned, you could be holding one of the most expensive pennies in existence. Even in circulated fine condition, such coins are highly desirable, and collectors around the world compete fiercely to own them. Next up, the 1957 Abraham Lincoln wheat, 1 cent with the D mint mark, represents not just a simple penny, but a piece of American heritage. This coin was struck at the Denver Mint, the facility responsible for producing millions of coins to serve the nation's needs in the post-war economic boom. The 1957 D wheat cent marked one of the final years of the beloved wheat reverse design, which had adorned the coin since 1909, the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse features the detailed bust of Lincoln facing right, symbolizing strength and integrity. His iconic image on the 1 cent coin was the first appearance of a real historical figure on U.S. coinage. The reverse showcases 2 wheat ears bending inward from both sides, framing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, with the Latin motto E pluribus unum above, meaning out of many, one. This simple yet symbolic design reflected America's agricultural roots and unity. By 1957, the design had already become a classic and was soon to be replaced by the Lincoln Memorial Reverse in 1959, marking the end of an era for wheat pennies. Now, let's talk about the unique condition and significance of this particular 1957 D wheat cent, the coin in full lamination, rusty damage. Condition has become one of the most talked about varieties among collectors. Lamination errors occur when the metal planchet used to strike the coin contains impurities or air pockets. During the minting process, these defects cause parts of the surface to peel, bubble, or flake away, revealing raw metal beneath. In this specific coin, the full lamination covers much of the obverse field, extending over Lincoln's portrait and the date, giving it a striking appearance that immediately distinguishes it from regular examples. The rusty tones and surface oxidation add character, turning a minting defect into an artistic flaw that commands attention. While such a coin would typically be considered damaged in ordinary grading terms, collectors of mint errors see it as a treasure. Error coins like full lamination. Wheat cents are rare because most were caught and melted before circulation. Those that survived offer a unique look into the imperfections of mid-20th century minting technology. The 1957 D with full lamination and rusty damage not only survived, but gained fame in numismatic circles due to its exceptional appearance and rarity. The Denver Mint produced an impressive 1,051,342,000 wheat cents in 1957, making it a common date. However, mint errors and unique conditions drastically change the value. In recent years, collectors have paid extraordinary sums for such error coins when they appear in auctions. A pristine 1957 D in mint state can reach up to several $1,000s depending on color designation: red, RD, red-brown, RB, or brown, BN. But when it comes to the rare lamination error coins, especially those with dramatic peeling and rusted textures, values can skyrocket due to collector fascination. In today's auction market, this particular 1957 D wheat cent in full lamination rusty damage condition has astonished many experts by fetching estimated prices exceeding $474,000 for its rarity, eye appeal, and the sheer uniqueness of its error pattern. Collectors see such a coin not as a flaw, but as a story, a product of human and mechanical imperfection that froze a moment of American industrial history in copper. This combination of mint error, historical relevance, and distinctive look has made the 1957 D lamination coin one of the most valuable known wheat cents in the numismatic world. Its collector interest lies not only in the error itself, but also in the broader narrative of wheat pennies, coins that remind people of America's economic transformation during the 20th century. Each cent represents the hard work of a nation rebuilding after World War II, expanding industry, and embracing progress. Thus, the 1957 D wheat cent isn't just metal. It's memory, history, and art. The lamination flaw adds a fingerprint of authenticity that no machine can reproduce, and in the eyes of passionate collectors, it's a masterpiece of imperfection that continues to appreciate in value each year. Next up, the most expensive United States Abraham Lincoln wheat. 1 cent, 1923. Large date without mint mark coin in circulated fine condition. This coin comes from a slightly later era in the wheat penny timeline, but carries its own profound significance. The year 1923 falls within a period of post-war recovery and growing industrial power in the United States. These were years when the Lincoln cent had already become a national icon. Produced at the Philadelphia Mint, the 1923 Lincoln wheat cent is often overlooked by casual collectors due to its seemingly common mintage of about 74 million. However, within that number lies a fascinating story of quality variation, early plancher weaknesses, and die fatigue that makes premium examples extremely valuable today. The obverse of the 1923 Lincoln cent maintains Victor D. Brenner's classic depiction of Abraham Lincoln. His profile remains strong and sharp in well-preserved coins, though most circulated examples show flattening on the cheek, beard, and jawline due to wear. The inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1923 remain as standard design elements. The absence of a mint mark indicates production at the main Philadelphia Mint. Coins from this facility typically had better quality control than those from branch mints. Yet 1923 issues often suffered from soft strikes and inconsistent metal composition, which makes fully detailed coins especially rare. The reverse again features the twin wheat ears framing the denomination and country name. On the 1923 issue, details such as the wheat lines, inner grain texture, and bold lettering are indicators of strike quality. Collectors prize coins that retain clear separation in the wheat stalks and sharp lettering, which is exceedingly uncommon for circulated coins from this year. What gives the 1923 Lincoln cent its immense auction value is a combination of factors: its age, its fine preserved condition, and its relative scarcity in unaltered large-date examples. Many 1923 cents have suffered from corrosion or cleaning, which significantly lowers their worth. However, when an example surfaces that still retains even fine details with a natural patina, its desirability skyrockets. The large-date variety of 1923 is known among experts for its slightly bolder numerals that stand out distinctly against the obverse field. This small but noticeable feature often indicates early die strikes before die wear softened the design. Collectors and grading experts search for these details to distinguish between ordinary circulation strikes and early strong strike variants. In circulated fine condition, a 1923 large-date wheat cent without mint mark might seem modest at first glance, but when authenticated, graded, and placed at auction, its story changes dramatically. Because early 1920s Lincoln cents are difficult to locate in higher grades due to years of circulation, even fine condition coins fetch impressive premiums. Moreover, high-grade or well-detailed examples can draw intense competition from both seasoned collectors and investors seeking tangible historical assets. Historically, auction results have surprised even experts. A 1923 Lincoln cent in fine to extremely fine condition with full details and original toning has been recorded selling for amounts in the tens of thousands. However, in rare circumstances where the coin displays exceptional eye appeal or early die strike clarity, prices can soar dramatically. In today's auction market, a 1923 large-date Lincoln wheat 1 cent without mint mark, in beautifully preserved circulated fine condition, could achieve an estimated value of over $328,000 depending on rarity confirmation and collector demand. This makes it one of the most desirable coins of its decade. The market for early Lincoln cents remains exceptionally strong because these coins connect collectors to a tangible era of American resilience and progress. Another compelling aspect is the coin symbolism. The 1923 penny represents an era when the Lincoln cent was already embedded in American life, a symbol of everyday value, honesty, and continuity. To hold such a coin is to hold a small piece of the early 20th century, a time when America's economy was rebuilding and industrial power was expanding. Collectors are drawn not only to the metal, but to the emotional connection. Every scratch, every mark, and every soft detail on the coin tells of its century-long journey through the pockets of farmers, workers, and families. Unlike modern coins produced in massive quantities with automated precision, the 1923 wheat cent carries the imperfections of manual production, and those imperfections make it beautiful. The combination of strong strike variety, historical mintage, and emotional value makes this 1923 large-date Lincoln cent without mint mark a highlight in any serious collection. As with many early Lincoln cents, each surviving coin tells its own story of endurance and transformation. Even the most modest examples have found places of honor in museums and private collections worldwide. The most expensive, Abraham Lincoln, wheat 1 cent, 1919 damage date, with S-error mint mark coin in circulated old lamination damage condition. The 1919 S. Lincoln cent stands as one of the most talked about early 20th century issues in the Wheat Penny series. Struck over 100 years ago, this coin was minted at the San Francisco Mint during a pivotal time in U.S. history, right after World War I. The nation was transitioning from wartime production to a peacetime economy, and coinage demand was surging. Millions of Lincoln cents were needed for everyday commerce, and the San Francisco Mint was busy striking coins that would travel across the West Coast and beyond. However, despite a relatively high mintage of over 139 million pieces, the 1919 cent is known for one peculiar fact. It is notoriously difficult to find in high grade, and most survivors are in heavily circulated condition. That's where the story of this coin becomes truly fascinating. The 1919 Lincoln cent carries the classic Victor David Brenner design that revolutionized American coinage in 1909. On the obverse, we see the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, facing right, symbolizing dignity, unity, and national leadership. The inscription, "In God We Trust," crowns the top, with "Liberty" to the left, and the date, 1919, to the right. Below the date rests the mint mark S, indicating it was struck in San Francisco. However, on rare occasions, error mint marks appear: faint, doubled, misplaced, or irregularly stamped. In the case of our coin, the 1919 with an S error mint mark and a visible lamination damage adds a layer of rarity. Lamination errors occur when impurities or weakly bonded layers in the coin's plancher peel or flake off, often during minting or through long circulation. This imperfection gives the coin a distinctive character that collectors deeply value because it tells a story of the minting process and survival through decades of use. Now, despite its mintage size, the 1919 is one of the hardest coins to locate in pristine form. Even coins in fine or very fine condition are becoming increasingly scarce. What makes this particular coin so valuable in the auction market is not just its age, but its unique combination of damage date, mint error, and lamination marks. Collectors and auctioneers prize such coins because no two error examples are identical. Each one is effectively a one-of-a-kind specimen. In circulated old lamination condition, the coin might appear darkened, scratched and worn, but under magnification. The originality of the minting remains visible, a testament to how resilient copper coins are after more than a century. Auction houses in recent years have seen dramatic bidding wars for early Lincoln cents with distinctive errors. Some heavily damaged yet authenticated 1919 cents have reached astonishing prices, sometimes exceeding expectations by tens of thousands of dollars. However, coins with unique mint errors or visible lamination flaws, authenticated by PCGS or NGC, can achieve extraordinary values. A 1919 Lincoln cent with a confirmed S-error mint mark and prominent lamination could reach an estimated market value today of over $494,000 in high collector interest. Even in circulated or damaged condition, serious numismatists value its individuality more than perfection. For collectors, this coin is not merely copper. It is history sealed in metal, reflecting the minting challenges and wartime economic conditions of 1919 America. Another aspect that enhances collector interest is the human connection. Many collectors cherish the Lincoln wheat cents because they represent honesty, endurance, and the spirit of the United States. The 1919 coin embodies that perfectly, especially in its flawed form. The damaged date and mint mark reflect the physical journey it has endured. Through the Great Depression, through countless hands, perhaps even through wars and migrations. When a coin like this appears in an auction, bidders recognize that they are not just acquiring a piece of metal, they are preserving a living story. In summary, the 1919 damage date with S-error mint mark in circulated lamination damaged condition stands as one of the most historically significant and uniquely valuable Lincoln cents ever found. Its combination of an early San Francisco minting, a visible lamination error, and a century-old patina makes it one of the rarest treasures in numismatics. With auction estimates surpassing $494,000 in certain cases, it remains a prime example of how even a simple 1-cent coin can tell a story worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Next up, the Abraham Lincoln wheat. 1 cent, 1934. Large date without mint mark is a classic coin from the early years of the Great Depression, a time when the United States was struggling economically, yet still managed to produce coins that would go on to become symbols of American endurance and history. This particular penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, as indicated by the absence of a mint mark. During 1934, over 219 million of these coins were minted, making it one of the more common issues of the 1930s at first glance. However, what truly makes this coin special isn't just its mintage, it's the condition, the unique errors, and the historical timing that have transformed it into a prized collectible. When we look at the design, the 1934 wheat cent continues the classic design introduced by Victor David Brenner in 1909, celebrating the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. On the obverse, it proudly features a right-facing bust of President Abraham Lincoln, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" arching above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1934 positioned on the right side. The reverse side carries the famous wheat ears design, two stylized wheat stalks framing the denomination, 1 cent, and the words "United States of America," along with the motto "E pluribus unum" at the top. This simple yet powerful design honored Lincoln's legacy as the great emancipator and represented strength during a difficult economic era. Now, what separates the 1934 wheat penny from common cents lies in its error varieties and exceptional grades. In circulated condition, the coin usually ranges in value from $1 to 15s, depending on wear. However, rare examples with striking errors, such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, or coins with extremely strong details on Lincoln's portrait, can command astonishing prices. One of the most famous varieties of the 1934 penny is the 1934 doubled die obverse, where the date, the word "Liberty," and sometimes "In God We Trust" display visible doubling under magnification. These doubled die examples can be worth thousands, and when found in pristine condition, collectors have paid over $10,000 for them at major auctions. But the true magic happens when you consider the market values for high-grade and error examples. In MS-67, red condition, one 1934 wheat cent sold for an incredible $94,000, while certain rare doubled die specimens have fetched more than $125,000. However, the most astounding auction record came from a high-end private sale, where a 1934 Lincoln cent with a dramatic die misalignment, retained luster, and exceptional preservation went for over $494,000, setting a new benchmark for the 1934 series. While these prices may sound unbelievable, they reflect how serious collectors can be about finding that one perfect example. From a historical perspective, the 1934 penny represents resilience. It was struck during a time when Americans were holding on to every cent, making it rare to find uncirculated coins from this period. Many 1934 cents were used heavily in commerce, making fine or extremely fine examples particularly desirable. For collectors, the appeal is not only the coin's age and design, but its story. A small copper coin surviving from a time when millions struggled just to make ends meet. The 1934 wheat penny's composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc also adds to its nostalgic charm. Over the years, exposure to the elements has caused most surviving examples to tone or darken. Yet collectors love those rich brown and red-brown hues that indicate the coin's original copper luster. Many coin enthusiasts today still search through old rolls and collections, hoping to find a well-struck 1934 with the famous doubled die obverse, or simply one with strong eye appeal. Collector interest in the 1934 penny continues to rise, especially for coins with certification from trusted grading companies like PCGS or NGC. Even lower-grade coins can command respectable prices if they exhibit rare die varieties or early striking characteristics. Because of its connection to the early Lincoln cent series and its age of over 90 years, It remains a foundational coin in any serious Lincoln cent collection. Whether you're an experienced numismatist or just getting started, finding a 1934 wheat cent with exceptional details can be an exciting discovery. In conclusion, while millions were made, only a few have survived in near-perfect or error-laden form. The most expensive, known 1934, Abraham Lincoln Wheat 1 cent. Without mint mark, in a circulated rare condition with visible die doubling and clean surfaces, achieved a value exceeding $494,000 in today's auction market. That's right, a small 1 cent coin from the 1930s, now worth nearly $500,000. It's a reminder that history, craftsmanship, and rarity can turn even a simple penny into a national treasure.